going on, Auburn fans? Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. We're talking Auburn football. Auburn continues to do their thing on the recruiting trail. Let's go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. Definitely appreciate all the Auburn fans out there. The channel is definitely growing in the right direction again. We've gotten a significant number of subscribers within the last month, and I definitely appreciate the new growth with the channel. Also, Auburn is at a crossroads, I think, and Hugh Freeze is kind of being caught up in an unfair part of this, probably, because Auburn has been in a downward spiral here for the last few years. We talk about the Brian Harsin era that was really cataclysmic for the Tigers, to where, I mean, it's a straight rebuild. There's only one player from the Auburn Tigers that was during that era, and I think Brian Harsin, probably one of his best moves as a college football coach, was digging Jarquez Hunter out of Neshoba High School in Mississippi. That was the best recruit. I mean, that was his contribution long term to the Auburn Tigers. That was his parting gift, if you will. And Auburn continues to do well on the recruiting trail, but then a lot of folks are thinking, like, will it be good enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, will it be good enough? Because everybody else is doing the same thing. I was talking to a guy today about it, and he knows that I, cover Auburn content. And he was like, because we're in Georgia. And he was like, so what do you think about Auburn this year? And what do you think about Hugh Freeze? I was like, I think Hugh Freeze is doing an incredible job. I think he's done a great job of recruiting some blue chip players. My problem is Auburn too far behind to make the kind of catch up that the Auburn fans want him to make before it's too late? Now, I think the schedule, the 2024 schedule, gives Auburn a chance for Hugh Freeze to win some pretty good big football games. And I think he has the roster, and I think he's starting to develop the depth to navigate through this type of schedule. Now, you never would have thought that a schedule with Oklahoma and Alabama, Georgia would be a favorable schedule. Now Missouri is starting to emerge. As a matter of fact, Missouri's, they had this article that came out where they were previewing Auburn, and they were like, Missouri should take care of business against the Tigers. I was like, oh, man. So we're at a point where Missouri is taking care of business against Auburn. I'm going to tell you guys something. This is probably not going to be the same Auburn team that Missouri even faced, obviously, when they should have won. They got fumbled like at the 1-inch line, helping Auburn to win that game the last time Missouri played Auburn in Jordan Hare. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And I think that game right there, that fumble from that kid right there, is what probably saved Brian Harsin's job at that point. He would later on lose it that same year. I mean, it was inevitable. The writing was on the wall for Brian Harsin. I mean, there was no way with that type of relationship, especially with the activities during the offseason, where there was some scandalous stuff going on, to where there was some investigation going on. Then Alan Green resigns as the athletics director, because in my opinion, I think Alan Green realized that he, probably made a mistake here. But I think Hugh Freeze has done a amicable job of righting the ship for the Tigers. The only thing that most Auburn fans will probably have a little concern with is the fact that there was no pursuit of a quarterback in the offseason. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's probably the biggest heartburn. Excuse me. I think everything else pretty much lines up pretty good. I think Auburn is doing a great job. Got five offensive line recruits in the 2025 recruiting class. Actually picked up a nice recruit through the transfer portal from Mississippi State at the offensive line. So I think the offensive line will be relatively solid. Barring any injuries, they could be at least one of the more solid offensive lines in the SEC this year. I'm not saying they're going to be elite, but I think they should be kind of halfway solid coming into this season. And when you look at the schedule, like I said before, it stacks up pretty well. You talk about the first 5. We talked about this before. California, Oklahoma, these are Power 5 teams. These are Power 5 teams that Auburn has a chance to beat. Especially if Auburn can turn this thing. And they got them at home, which I think is a huge deal for the Tigers. So all of this stuff about Missouri and, Missouri should handle it. Look, I think Missouri fans probably need to pump the brakes a little bit because, yes, you did beat Ohio State. But did you beat Ohio State at their best? Was there a lot of opt-outs? You got to look at those things. I'm not taking anything away. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I am taking it away. I don't think a full-steam Ohio State team loses to Missouri. And I don't think they win that game with the perception that they're going to be competing for a national championship or competing for the college football playoff in 2024. That's just square business, guys. That's just what it is. I don't see it. Because Auburn has been there before, going to the national championship. Everybody thinking, okay, yeah, we were only 3 seconds away. But guess what? Now that 3 seconds has turned into 11 years away. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Missouri has done a great job in the SEC. They've gone to the SEC championship game twice. They've been a halfway competitive mainstay for the most part in comparison to Texas A&M. I think they are probably the team that has contributed the most since their arrival. But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny that Missouri is looking at Auburn as a team that will take care of business and we should be able to kind of stiff arm them to the side. Let me go on and put my seatbelt on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing another car cast with the time constraints. Sometimes I got to do these, and especially to keep the content flowing. But look, over the weekend, I think Auburn did themselves a great service by gaining the verbal commitment because, we got to be honest about this. Commitments now are verbal from these high school guys. You got the NIL. You have, things that can go awry, especially during the season. They see kind of the context of where the teams are going as far as outcomes. And, sometimes that commitment can flip. But as of now, Auburn has Eric Winters as a commitment for the 2025 recruiting class. And I'm going to tell you, this is huge. I think this is a huge commitment. I think this is a guy that can really contribute early. He's rated at 94, and that's a high-level 4-star recruit. I don't think he's going to get to that 5-star range because we're not going to be able to see his skill set in the position. We won't be able to get to see the consistent skill set in his position as a safety, 6'2", 200 and something pounds, because they use him to do so much stuff. They use him on offense. They use him obviously on defense. They use him on special teams. He's a very rangy player. He knows how to find the football. He's not like an incredibly hard hitter, but he knows how to find his way to the football. He's very cerebral with the game, knows how to high point deep balls. And I think a guy like him with such a comfort level of physicality inside the box, I really like him as that star at a certain point. I really like being able to rotate him out of the free safety position, but definitely at that star position with the little size, 6'2". He could potentially be outside, will linebacker. And I think that's what the coaches are looking at. There's so much that this kid can do that, you list him as a safety, but his skill set is so versatile. He could probably return kicks. He could probably, ace some stuff on the offense if you want to do some trickery. Like I think this is one of the best recruits in this class so far, or at least one of the more entertaining guys in this group. Let me know what you think about Auburn's new recruit. Let me know what you think about Missouri talking trash like Auburn is like, okay, we'll just handle business there. And also, let me know what you think about Hugh Freeze year 2 in taking advantage of a more favorable schedule and righting the ship at Auburn. That's my time here. My name is Kennard Vernon Stewart. We're here for the podcast. We talk Auburn football endlessly. Like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Just like I always say, it's always great to be an Auburn Tiger. War damn.